Good morning. My name is Michael Leizerman here with the Trial Guides Tip of the Day this Thursday, March 23rd, 2023, 3/23/23. Today's tip comes from Theater Tips and Strategies for Jury Trials by David Ball. Here to read the tip is David Ball.
This says, build your case from low intensity up to maximum impact. Use the same pattern in rising intensity within each separate segment of your trial presentation. Each witness, each section of testimony, each story you tell in your opening, each argument.
Wow. So rising intensity makes sense to me. And it also makes sense to me to start strong, end strong. Maybe that's different than intensity. How do I
It
square
is, and
those?
I want to talk about that a little. You do need something strong at the beginning, but you don't want jurors to feel that that's it. That's as interesting as this is going to get. That's as big as this is going to get. You want them always to feel that this is going someplace. It's an old rule of theater and film and other kinds of things like that. That the minute jurors feel that things are getting less interesting, they start spending less of their attention on it, and their mind wanders to things they'd rather. You want to arise, whether it's within a single witness's testimony. Doesn't mean to start with something trivial. It doesn't mean trivial stuff. You don't want any trivial stuff anyplace, but you want something to build. Now, this is from an old book. In its third edition, it was originally published by Nita, and then Trial Guides, bless them, bought up all my books and moved them at the time to Trial Guides. But this, which tells me when I look at who published this version of it, that this goes back quite a ways. However, it's still extremely important advice. There's a wonderful play called Arsenic and Old Lace, great comedy. The problem with it is its first 3 minutes might be the funniest 3 minutes anybody's ever written for the stage. And if you direct it so that it comes out that funny, then everything that follows seems slightly puny by comparison. You don't want that to happen with your case. You want some kind of overall view that this thing is going closer and closer. And I'm talking about your case. You can let all that go by the time the defense goes up to do their case. So yes, as you're arranging your sequence of witnesses, one of the characteristics to take into account is interest and intensity level of each witness. If there's somebody they're all looking forward to, put them later in the case, if you can. Now, don't sacrifice the logic or the other kinds of persuasiveness. But one of the guidelines to keep in mind is we're trying to build so that there's a reason to hold juror attention. Because we know that when you don't do anything, just let that happen, that jurors only hear about 20% of what's going on. That's not enough when you've got the burden, and it is a gift to the defense.
Wow, thank you. I've often thought about, the interest with start strong, end strong, and I love the idea of actually measuring or making notes of interest and intensity and intentionally planning the witness order and within each witness's testimony, the intensity and interest to keep that in mind.
There's a wonderful play by Moliere called Tartuffe. The main character is Tartuffe, and he's a religious hypocrite, and it's one of the great plays ever written, great comedy and great serious. He doesn't come on stage for the first third of the play. People talk about him all the time. They're to the point where the audience is dying to see this character. Well, if you have a client like that, or a witness like that, or something like that, that you create the promise of, this is simply basic theater technique. My Trial Guide sells a book of mine called Backwards and Forwards, which will teach you how to use a lot of the methods of how we structure plays to hold attention all the way through. And that's really all this is. This is saying you want the jurors always looking forward to something that's coming up, not just to settle on what's here in this moment.
Wonderful. Well, as always, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you for asking about what you call my wisdom.
Let's take a deep breath together and be grateful to be alive this Thursday. May the work that we do today help reduce suffering in the world. May we repair the world in the work we do today. May we fiercely and compassionately advocate for our clients and champion their stories. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. This can take you into a meditation practice, a prayer practice, or just remind you it's Thursday. Wake up, go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it. Have a great day.